You are tuned to the Folk Music Notebook, streaming folk songs 24/7.
Welcome to Folk Music Notebook's Artist in Residence Showcase. Each week, we shine a spotlight on an outstanding singer-songwriter from our folk community as they share an exclusive performance for our Folk Music Notebook audience. This week's guest artist, Tom Heany. Tom comes to us from Westchester County in New York's Hudson Valley. He shares some great stories and memorable characters in his songs. His music is influenced by folk and traditional music, and you can hear the inspiration that he has drawn from writers like Woody Guthrie and Stan Rogers, and the guitar stylings from players like Doc Watson and Mississippi John Hurt. Tom also stresses the importance of practicing, and he's written 2 books for students and parents, as well as a website with some good advice for honing one's skills. Please welcome to Folk Music Notebook's Artist in Residence Showcase, Tom Heany.
Hi, my name is Tom Heany. I'm excited to be part of the Artist in Residence Showcase for Folk Music Notebook. Thanks, Ryan Olesko, for making this possible. My latest project is called The Wonders of Westchester. I live in Westchester County, New York, and I've written 8 songs about various beloved landmarks in the county, and I'll do 4 of them for you today. Right now I'm in Tarrytown, New York, and the first wonder is about 6 miles east of here in Hawthorne at the Gate of Heaven Cemetery. It's Babe Ruth's grave. And the Babe and his wife, Claire, have a big, beautiful headstone on a nice sunny hill. And anytime you go there, the ground in front of the stone will be covered with baseballs. These are just souvenirs left by fans. And it's not just baseballs, it's caps and bats and baseball cards and pennants. Who knows how much beer has been poured into the grass there. And this is all 72 years after he died. The song's called The Bambino. My father grew up on Naples Terrace, Kingsbridge, down in the Bronx. Born in the kitchen one Saturday night and wrapped in a pinstripe diaper. He worked as a newsboy the year that Babe Ruth hit 60 over the fence. He got tonsillitis the year after that and fell for a candy striper. And whenever he had 2 nickels at once, he'd knock on her window and say, "The sky is blue, I'm nuts over you, and the Yankees are playing today. So let's go see the Bambino, the best that ever could be. It could be that he is better than anyone ever could be, Together they'd see every game they could see. They wept when the slugger retired. 13 years later they stayed home from work the day the Bambino died. The very next spring on opening day, they went to his grave in the country, brought him a couple of good cigars, and stood in the rain and cried. But as years went by and life became good, they turned to their children and say, "George, Herman, and Ruth, we're nuts over you, and it's such a beautiful day. So let's go see the Bambino, the best that ever could be. It could be that he was better than anyone ever could be, They would pack up a basket with sandwiches and a transistor radio, and off to the cemetery the family all would go. They would sit in the grass by the tombstone and spend the afternoon and listen to Mel Allen or Red Barber or Phil Rizzuto to tell them how well the Yanks were doing. After 61 years beside the Bambino, their season came to an end. Turned off the radio one last time and put the basket away. We found them a plot at Gate of Heaven, down the hill from the Ruths. They're resting their eyes for a little while and waiting for opening day. But all of us think they still visit in when it gets to be that time of year. Mom and Dad bring the radio, and Babe Ruth provides the beer, 'cause they love to see the Bambino, the best that ever could be. And it could be that he and she were better than anyone ever could be, better than anyone ever could be. So the next wonder is in Mamaroneck, New York. Nathan Seeley lived there. He was one of the first African-American home builders in New York. And he lost everything in the Depression, but he had salvaged some building materials, and he had a little strip of land. And so he built a home for his family that's 3 stories high and 10 feet wide. It's still there. It's called Seeley's Skinny House. And I got to thinking what it was like that first night when his wife Lillian was putting their kids to bed in this odd house. The song's called Skinny Dreamers. Sleep, my skinny dreamers. Sleep, my little sunbeamers. Tomorrow new and shiny. Sleep, my little dreams. I love him, but I know he's wrong. He's also proud, and he works hard. He built this little thing for us on a sliver of our neighbor's yard. It looks like a house, but it's only 10 feet wide. We have only been here for a day. Already I feel trapped inside. All I do is worry. But sleep, my skinny dreamers. Sleep, my little sunbeamers. Tomorrow new and shiny. Sleep, my little dreams. I worry that this skinny house will make you shrink and keep you small. I worry that you won't have room to spread your wings and stand up tall. Will you be ashamed of us? Will you be ashamed of who you are? Will you wear this house like a bad tattoo? Will you show it like an angry scar? All I do is worry. But sleep, my skinny dreamers. Sleep, my little sunbeamers. Tomorrow new and shiny. Sleep, my little dreams. But I believe in the morning sun and starting fresh every new day. And I believe in the power of clear-eyed kids to find a way to find their way. So I will crawl into bed beside this foolish, loving man, and I will empty all my dreams into your tiny hands. Sleep, my skinny dreamers. Sleep, my little sunbeamers. Tomorrow new and shiny. Sleep, my little dreams. Now, in between Mamaroneck and here On the side of the Hutchinson River Parkway, there's a cell phone tower. And it's taller than all the surrounding trees. And it has fake pine tree branches on it. Doesn't look like a pine tree. It looks like a mascara brush. But I find it endearing. So this song is called Branches. I am steel, I am tall and straight and strong. I hear every conversation for miles around. I am perfectly designed, except for one thing. Branches. I was built from an elegant design. Amplifiers and antennas to capture sound. I have everything I need, and I do not need branches. These branches were intended to conceal my true nature, but I refuse. If I were to attempt to conceal my true nature, I would not choose branches. I would choose tap shoes. Can you imagine 90 feet of steel dancing down the parkway? Hey, that's no antenna, that's a boutonniere. I'd be so polished, dapper and genteel, like Maurice Chevalier. You focus on the dancer and the tower disappears. Your tap shoes may not turn a tower into a hoofer, but branches don't make one a tree. And if I have to look like something I am not, then I say pine tree is not the answer. I say the answer is dancer. But of course, I get it. Towers do not dance. That is not our nature. I am not what I imagine. I am what I do. And so, like always, I maintain my stance, passive but attentive, capturing the words and hungry for the tune. And after all, I'm straight and tall and strong. I am perfectly designed. I have everything I need, and also branches. Well, I have one more for you. But before I do that, I just wanted to say thanks to Ron Olesko again. Really very glad to be part of this. So 20 miles northeast of here in Bedford, New York, there's a 500-year-old oak tree. So 500 years ago, Shakespeare was not born yet. Henry Hudson was not born yet. The Declaration of Independence was still 250 plus years in the future, and this tree is growing. So back then, all of this area would have been forest. And who knows how many 500-year-old oak trees. Now we got one. The song's called Father's Day. There's an oak tree 500 years standing its ground, and it's Father's Day. 4 in the morning, cold wet mist all around, and my father steps up out of the mist, calls my name and shakes my hand. He's been dead for 30 years, but still here we stand. Well, I've got questions, things I'm hungry to know, and so I ask him, what were you thinking? How did you know that? Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you show me? Where did you always go? And how do I get her to smile and look at me that way? How do I change her mind and get her to stay? He said, stop talking, lay aside your fears. Look at this oak tree, it knows what it is, it does what it does, it stands its ground, and has been here 500 years. And in a heartbeat, 20 more men appear beside the tree. My father's father, his father too. 500 years of sons and fathers, oh, the men who led to me. And now my father takes his place among the men, and they surround me, and he calls my name again. He says, take a look around, all these men are you. You have been here 500 years. If you know who you are and you stand your ground, that's all you can really do. And that's my answer here on Father's Day. That's all I'll tell you. Somebody else might tell you something else, but that's all I've got to say. And the cold mist fades away and takes those ancient men, and the sun comes out and life starts up again on Father's Day. Well, thanks a lot. Again, my name's Tom Heany. I hope you like the songs. If you want to hear more, they're on Spotify and Amazon Music and Apple Music and YouTube. So thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Tom Heany on this week's Artist in Residence Showcase. To find out more about Tom and his CD, Reservoir, and also his other work, please visit his website, tomheany.com. We'd like to thank Tom for joining us today, and thank you for listening or watching on our YouTube page. And join us again next week at this same time for another Artist in Residence Showcase, and you can also check our website for a list of encore broadcasts. This is Folk Music Notebook, your virtual folk festival 24 hours a day.
You are tuned to the Folk Music Notebook, streaming folk songs 24/7.